Hello, I'm Hazel, and I decided to do my presentation on Erik Erikson. So, a little about Erik Erikson. He was a developmental psychologist and psychoanalyst known for his many theories of psychosocial development. He expanded based on Freud's theories such as psychosexual development and unconscious desires. Erikson highlighted the role of socialization and societal expectations in shaping personality across one's course of life. He also argued the notion that development is not determined by childhood experiences, but also by adult and old age. Erikson's theories showcase the continuous development of identity formation and the impact of social interactions and cultural factors on personality. So some major contributions. Erik Erikson developed the 8 stages of psychosocial development, presenting important issues from infancy all the way to old age. He also introduced the notion of identity crisis, which occurs during adolescence. He believed that those years are an important stage where individuals explore various roles, beliefs, and values to form a cohesive identity. Failure to resolve crises or issues could result in confusion within relationships later on in life. He also highlighted the role of culture and society in the forming of development. So, in 1902, Erik was born in Frankfurt, Germany, to a Jewish mother and an unknown Danish father. In 1927, he studied under Anna Freud in Vienna, which led him to psychoanalysis. 1930, Erikson married Joan Erikson and remained married to her until his death. 1933, he received his diploma from the Vienna Psychoanalytic Institute and Montessori as well. These were to be Erik Erikson's only earned academic credentials. The Eriksons later leave the country after a potential Nazi threat. 1936, Erikson joined Harvard University. He was also studying Native American children in South Dakota. In 1939, he left Yale, and the Eriksons moved to California. Erik was invited to join a team and engaged in the study of child development for the University of California, Berkeley. 1950, Erik published Childhood and Society. In 1960, he went back to Harvard University and took the position of a professor for human development and worked until his retirement. 1969, he won a Pulitzer Prize for his contribution to the field of psychology in 1970, and he also won a U.S. National Book Award in the category of philosophy and religion for his book Gandhi's Truth, 1969. 1973, the National Endowment for Humanities chose Erik Erikson for the Jefferson Lecture, the United States' highest honor for achievement in the humanities. And lastly, 1994, Erik Erikson died on May 12, 1994 in Harwich, Massachusetts. So the first world event is World War I. Erikson's childhood was during the societal crisis in post-World War I Germany, where national identity crisis occurred. Witnessing this at a young age could have influenced his focus on identity development and the epigenetic principle, which highlighted how surrounding factors can impact or shape development growth. Furthermore, the war's disruption could have also influenced his concept of trust versus mistrust as a basis for disrupted environments. The second world event is the Great Depression. The socioeconomic challenges that came with the Great Depression modeled how Erik Erikson's views on societal conditions can impact development. Erikson developed a concept of the psychosocial moratorium, a stage where individuals are allowed to explore their identity before they commit to societal roles. Furthermore, economic challenges often push young individuals to grow up, which Erikson believed could have been due to the conflict of developing a stable sense of identity. The third world stage is the rise of Nazism. Erikson's experience as a Jewish man living in Germany during the rise of Hitler and Nazism influenced his thinking about identity crisis. For instance, the societal pressure to conform, alongside the destruction of Jewish communities, showed how the government affected collectivity and individual identities. In addition, his theory of identity formation and cultural circumstances emphasized his struggles and views of social divisions. The fourth world event is World War II. World War II emphasized themes that were focused on Erikson's work, such as intimacy versus isolation and generativity versus stagnation. For example, young adults faced overwhelming unsureness about love, family, and survival, all during stress. Erikson's theories focused on how the war impacted normal psychological development and also highlighted humans' ability to overcome challenges. The fifth world event is the Civil Rights Movement. During the Civil Rights period, Erikson viewed how movements for justice and equality represented critical turning points for communities to reconsider societal norms. He also studied how cultural disruptions enabled identity status shifts, where people moved through periods such as moratoriums or identity achievements. In addition, he underscored how cultural resilience is demonstrated through marginalized communities, such as Native Americans who utilized historical challenges to maintain their heritage. And the last world event is the Cold War. The Cold War social tensions highlighted Erikson's theories on intergenerational conflicts. The era underscores autonomy, as younger generations challenged traditional roles. This period reinforced Erikson's belief that development is shaped by individual freedom, but also societal expectations. So Erikson's theory aligns with the epigenetic principle, which is a development that expands into arranged orders with stages building upon the last stage. So each of the stages showcases an important psychosocial issue that needs to be resolved for normal and healthy personality development. So he expanded based on Freud's psychosocial development. So the 8 stages of development would be number 1, trust versus mistrust, developing security and trust in caregivers. However, unresolved conflicts can lead to insecurity and fear of the world. Autonomy versus shame or doubt, gaining independence while managing self-doubt. So success can lead to confidence while failure can lead in low self-esteem. And initiative versus guilt, learning to take initiative without guilt for mistakes. So encouraging curiosity fosters decision-making skills. Number 4, industry versus inferiority, building confidence in skills while school performance and social um, comparison can impact a child's self-worth. Number 5, identity versus role confusion, forming a stable sense of identity, yet failure to establish identity may lead to confusion about future goals. Number 6, intimacy versus isolation. So establishing close relationships. So social success in this stage determines lifelong companionship and support. Number 7, generativity versus stagnation. So contributing to society. And productivity in work and family leads to fulfillment, while stagnation can result in feelings of unfulfillment. And lastly, integrity versus despair, reflecting on life with fulfillment or regret. Successful resolutions bring a sense of peace, while unresolved issues can cause desperation. So, additional concepts. Cultural and identity formation play a crucial role in psychosocial development. For example, Erikson's research on Native American communities emphasized how social and gender roles form identity formation. Gender roles impact psychosocial development, such as traditional expectations influencing autonomy. Men were historically expected to be independent, while women were expected to be caregivers. So according to Pressbooks, Erikson researched childhood play and published many articles on how and why children chose the toys to play with and gender differences. So Erikson also theorized a tendency in members of in-groups to view members of out-groups to be genetically different from them, known as pseudo-speciation. Erik Erikson believed that the main psychosocial task of adolescence was to find and establish an identity, known as identity versus role confusion. This could include adolescents questioning their appearance or choices. Teens during this time put a hold on committing to an identity and instead explore others. In addition, when adolescents find their identity, this is known as identity achievement, as they remained loyal and reconsidered the values of their parents. During this stage, teens adopt values from their parents, while others choose values different from their parents and more aligned with their peers. James Marcia expanded on Erikson's theory and stated that identity formation during the adolescent stage involves exploration, where individuals identify with their role models who help them explore various identities. As they progress, teens are then expected to choose and commit. However, in some cases, adolescents will neither explore nor commit to an identity, known as identity diffusion. Foreclosure is when an individual commits to an identity but fails to explore other options. A moratorium is when adolescents are actively looking for options but have not made any commitments yet. Erikson's theory provides a complete structure for understanding human development. His work is also applied in various fields, including education, therapy, psychology, and counseling. Understanding psychosocial stages helps individuals develop a strong sense of self. Erikson's research remains relevant in modern applications, especially in identity formation and self-improvement. This is my works cited, and I hope you guys have learned a bit of something about Erik Erikson. Have a wonderful day.